I'm coming to you every single day to make sure you know credit. Today we're going to talk about a topic. If it is your first time on the channel, we would appreciate it if you would hit the subscribe button. This is how we grew the fastest credit channel in national history, because of your help, your subscribes, your likes, your thanks. And also, write me a comment. Well, hey, write something in the comments, whether it's, hey, look, this was great, or this was terrible. But I'm going to give you 3 things we're going to talk about today. And also, do me a favor, turn on your bell notification, because this will indicate every day when you're getting videos, okay? The important part of this is to know credit. If I come to you every day, I want to make sure you're getting videos every day, where other people are doing them once a week or once a month. I'm the only person that does it every single day. And for that reason, if you turn on your bell notification, you'll be able to get a notification when it comes in. My videos come in, boom, you'll be able to watch them. The more you watch, the better you get, the better and higher your score goes. So how do we remove negatives off our credit report? Well, I'm going to tell you 3 mistakes that you're making right away. Okay, first, biggest misconceptions about negative on your credit report is that most people pay collections. Okay, let me tell you why this is a big no-no. When you pay the collection, okay, whether it's a charge-off or whether it is a collection, when you pay it, guess what happens? You are assuming essentially the debt. So you pay it, now guess what you have? You have a paid collection on your credit report that will be there for the next 7 years. Paid collection does nothing. It's basically a satisfaction of your debt, but lenders can still say you had a collection. Wouldn't it be better to remove it completely versus having a paid collection? Because if you have a paid collection, again, this is not going to help you. Okay, this is going to hurt you. That's why I said biggest mistakes. Here's another big mistake. Debt collector calls you, okay? We're going to call the debt collector either ABC Collection Company or the original creditor. They're going to call you. They are trained, the staff is trained to keep you on the phone for 30 seconds. This is where you are going to make a big mistake. So what it looks like is this. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, Mr. John Smith. Yeah, this is John Smith. This is ICB Collection Agency, and we are calling to just get a little bit of information from you. What is your current address? You are dead in the water. They just verified your phone number and your name to you. Okay. What did you just do? You again did about essentially what you would have done, because it's a recorded call. You did about the same thing as paying it. You just verified them to be able to go, John Smith lives here at this address. And they're going to keep you on the phone. They're trained to keep you on the phone to get as much information as possible. And they're going to say, great. And you're going to go, I just don't have the money to pay it right now, whatever. And that is recorded, guys. Huge misconception. So what do we want to do? We never want to pay collections. If possible, don't pay the collection or charge-offs. Try to remove it first. B, if you get a debt collector call and they say, hey, John Smith, you say, sorry, wrong number. Or you don't pick it up, because you can usually tell, right? You guys get these calls a lot. You know what I'm talking about. The people have a lot of negatives, right? You guys are getting blown up all day long by the 888 numbers and the 800 numbers. Sometimes they're slick and they'll actually hit you with a local number. And they'll go, hey, John Smith? I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. Wrong number. That's the move you want to make, right? Then research, find out who it is. Do not verify your name and address or name, date of birth, social, anything over the phone, okay? Now, another big mistake that you can make is actually waiting 7 years. So people think that they have these negatives on your credit report. Now, if you know this, that you get a collections stay for 7 years on your credit report. As a bankruptcy stays 10 years, collection stays 7 years, okay, from the time they report it. So what most people think is, I need to live with bad credit. No. Challenge, 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 dispute, challenge, dispute, challenge. Because 7 years, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, it doesn't matter. You have the legal right to challenge anything that is inaccurate, obsolete, unfair, unduly, or incorrect on your credit report. The onus is on them to verify that it is verified, not you. So you could go through your credit report and challenge everything that you don't feel is inaccurate, obsolete, unfair, unduly, or incorrect on your credit report. Remember that. Challenge it all. Who cares? It's their job to figure out if it's yours or not. I don't like it. They don't believe it's mine. Can they get into your body and say, hey, this was mine? No, they don't know that. You're just going to challenge it. So right now, with everything's going on in the world, right? Everything that's going on in the world right now, guess what we have at the credit bureaus and the creditors? We have what they call skeleton crews. People working from home, people working part-time. The credit bureaus are inundated with people right now. And if you knew this little secret of how to inundate the credit bureaus and the creditors, guess what you would do? You would inundate them with letters. The more you send, the better off you're going to get. So you're going to push, 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 push. Now, are we going to send to the creditor, ABC collection, debt or the debt collector, okay, the original creditor, or are we going to send to the credit bureaus? I'm going to tell you the answer. You're going to send to both. So you're going to send to creditor ABC, and you're going to send to all three credit bureaus, and you're going to rapid fire. Because what happens is when you send a letter, okay, your letter actually, your dispute actually gets turned into a 2-digit number, okay? Somewhere between 26 and 97, okay? That's how they convert your dispute and know the urgency of your actual dispute. The higher the number, the more likely it is to get escalated, which is why you'll see some people that'll try to trick the system, right? And they'll like write a hand letter, you know, so it bypasses, because you don't think there's somebody on the other end actually taking the letter and, let's see here, it's collection. No, they don't do it anymore. Everything's electronic, okay? But depending on when they scan your letter through the system, okay, it gets sent by eOscar. When it gets sent over, they are going to verify the information by putting it into a scanner. It scans it, gives you a 2-digit number. So what we want to do is we want to use good letters. Now, if you guys have been Googling things online, you probably know you could Google how to remove negative accounts, right? But do you think that everybody in the world, do you think that those letters are actually saturated? 100,000%. They are called cookie cutter, okay? They are very ineffective, which is why they're free, which is why anybody has access to them, okay? So we're not talking about the 609 letters, okay? Those are outdated. We're not talking about, hey, how do I remove negatives account? Can you send me a letter? Those are completely outdated, okay? There are letters that we use for each situation. So now let's talk about how we're going to remove negatives from our credit report. Now that I told you the 3 negative things you don't want to do, let's talk about some things we can do, okay? More importantly, this. If you have a late payment on your credit report, now I say negatives, a late payment is a negative. But what you can't do is dispute multiple late payments, okay? The problem with disputing multiple late payments is usually with a late payment, you are going to use what they call a hardship or forbearance letter, okay? Or a goodwill, same thing, okay? Potatoes, right? So forbearance, goodwill, hardship letter. Basically, look, man, I went through a hard time with COVID. I went through a hard time with the economy. I went through a hard time. I lost my job, lost a family member, I got sick, whatever. You're basically telling them, look, I made a mistake. Okay, please forgive me for my mistake. Now, remember that you can't do this multiple times. In other words, this. Let's say you have an account that's 12 let's say it's 12 months old, okay? And you missed one payment 3 months ago because you went through a hard time, lost your job. And then you missed the next 2 payments. Late payment, month after month. Well, it's a little hard to go back and say, look, I made a mistake. So this generally only works if you miss 1, maybe 2. I've seen 2 a couple times. But this is not something you can get a bunch of late payments through the length of the time that you've had that account and then say, oh, I want a hardship. I went through hard times. It's not believable. They're not going to believe that you had an account for 5 years and you got 36 missed payments, that it was a hardship or that you got sick or you lost your job, whatever case is, right? So you can use a hardship or a goodwill letter, 1, maybe 2 late payments. Other than that, what I would do is to dispute the entire account. I'm dropping bombs for you guys today, boy. What's another negative? Okay, let's talk about negatives in general. The way that the credit bureaus verify information, which we're going to talk about next, is BS. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to remove everything off your credit report. First thing you got to do is go to Identity IQ. I'll put the link inside the description box. Go to Identity IQ. Make sure you get a 3-bureau credit report. Okay, when you get a 3-bureau credit report, print it all out. Okay, because you need to know what's going on. If you don't know what's on your credit report, and I don't mean Credit Karma, guys. I know you guys love that free Credit Karma stuff. It ain't gonna work. Get your 3-bureau credit report from Identity IQ. Now, once we have that, we are looking for inaccurate information. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the personal information in there, and you're gonna see that you're gonna have multiple aliases. You'll see that you have multiple phone numbers. You're gonna see that there's multiple addresses, and you'll probably see a couple employment places. Those all need to go. You need an updated address personal information letter, because without that, okay, what the credit bureaus are doing is verifying it against that information. So let's say a year ago you had a collection and you lived at 123 Smith Street, and 123 Smith Street is on your credit report. Guess what they're verifying? They're verifying the collection with the address. But he also worked at CVC, or Johnson & Johnson, okay? So he worked at Johnson & Johnson, and they're verifying it with the time you got the collection. That's a data point, okay? They're looking for 3 data points to be able to verify information. So what I want you guys to do, you need an update personal information letter, okay? That letter, I want you to remove everything that is not associated with your current information. I want 1 phone number, 1 name, 1 job employment, and 1 address. That's the only thing that should be on. Everything else needs to come off. Now, the only exception to that would be that if you currently live at 123 Smith Street and you got a collection at 123 Smith Street, then go through your credit report and remove that address, even if it's your current address, because it's attached to the collection. So pick another address and leave that address. You guys follow me? So the only thing you want is 1 address, 1 phone number, 1 employment, and 1 name. That's it, 1 of each. Because you'll see multiple on there when you go to your personal information, when you put out your report. So what you're gonna do is remove everything else. And again, if you're currently at a place where you have a collection, you're gonna remove that address where you're at and leave 1 that is not attached to any collections. This is how you do it. It's called the update personal information. When you do that, okay, you're going to get back within about 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to get a letter saying all your personal information has been updated. Now it's game time, because now what we're going to do is we're going to go to letter number 1, okay, which I'll share with you in a minute how this works. Letter number 1, that's where we're going to go in and we're going to indicate the things that we feel in our letter number 1. We're going to send to credit bureaus and the creditors. And we're going to say, we feel this is inaccurate, obsolete, unfair, unduly incorrect information, okay, which is basically stated in a letter in legal terms. Okay, so think about it this way. Now, when they go to verify the information, they're only verifying it with your name, your address, your employment, but guess what? They're not there. So what do you think the chances are of them removing the information when they can't find their data points? Extremely high. Okay, now you guys need to know law, because what happens is if you submit this information, you submit letter number 1 to the credit bureaus and the creditors, what's going to happen is this. The reason I say both is because you want to penetrate both sides. Okay, you want to like double stack them, right? What's going to happen is the creditor has 45 days, but they only have 15 days to get it to the credit bureaus. Then the credit bureaus has the extra 30 days to be able to verify the information. So if they come back after letter number 1, after you've done your personal update information, and then they come back and they say verified, you're going to get a letter within 30 days. It's either been verified or deleted. That's the only 2 options you're going to have. If it says verified, now here's where you need to know the law, because if you go to the FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act, you will see that there's laws that the credit bureaus have to follow. Okay, so section 611B and then numeric number 3, 611, section B, number 3 numerically, okay, you will see that they have guidelines that they have to use. They can't just say verified, because that's BS, okay? A lot of times it is BS. Most of the time it's BS. They just put verified because they think that it's verified. But they have to tell you how it was verified. So if you go to the FCRA and you look at under 611, letter B, section 3, you will see that there are guidelines they have to use. And if they are not using those guidelines to be able to verify your information, then you're going to send letter number 2, which is, I want it off because you guys have violated the law. And the last thing you want to do, the credit bureaus want, is a lawsuit. It is much easier for them to remove a negative, incorrect information off your credit report than to have a lawsuit. So, there's 2 options. Legally, you have 100% in your life to be able to challenge anything yourself. Okay? So I'm going to give you the information because you have the legal right to do it yourself. The other option is you can have a professional company do it for you. That's it. Okay? So you can get into the credit game. The proprietary letters that we're talking about, and I'm not talking about the cookie cutter ones. I'm not talking about the 609s. I'm talking about proprietary letters, the ones I use when I built the credit game for myself. I was at a 505 credit score. Today I'm at 827. I've never went backwards. Okay? If you want to use the letters that are proprietary, that knows how to get the highest, remember I told you 2-digit code? The highest 2-digit codes that are out there, okay? Then you get in the credit game, you'll have that proprietary information. You'll have the letter for the update information, the personal information. You'll have letter number 1, and you'll have letter number 2, and you also have letter number 4, which is the lawsuit one, okay? So we have put together the letters that absolutely in step, and I show you by video exactly what you need. I even walk you to USPS and show you exactly what you need to do. I mean, I walk you through step by step like a 4th grader. That's how easy this is, okay? So that's inside the credit game. The other thing that I'm doing for you guys, okay? Because I understand that people sometimes don't have time. They're busy, they're at work, they got things going on. And they're like, look, Mike, this is great, but I don't have the time to, I get it. I get it. I understand you don't have the time. Most people don't have the time, okay? So I put together 2 different things. Okay, so inside the platform, you'll have the proprietary phenomenal letters that get the highest 2-digit code to the credit bureaus. And number 2 is what I'm going to do for you guys is by getting into the credit game, you will have access to my number 1 VIP vendor, a vendor that is absolutely the best in the United States, in my opinion, in removing the inaccurate, obsolete, unfair information in under 60 days. I'm talking about results are so fast that literally you could have your stuff done before the holidays. That's how fast, okay? So you have 2 options. You could do it yourself, great. If you value time, then you might want to go with option B. If time's not a necessity to you and you're like, you know what, it's just money's more important to me than time, then you do it yourself. Okay, there's 2 options. You want it done professionally or you can do it yourself. I always have to give you the option to say you do it yourself because legally you can. And legally, you could go up and try to fix your roof as well, or you could hire somebody who does it professionally. Or if your car breaks down, you could say, hey, you know what, I can go in and go on YouTube and try to figure it out. Sure, you could. Or you can bring it to a mechanic. Same difference, okay? If you know what we're looking for, we know what we're looking for. Our vendor's the best, and you have the proprietary information. You have the entire education platform, so you never go backwards and never have to play a credit repair company again. That's in the credit game. You guys will get access to up to 75% off of Tradelines in my program. And the Elite Credit Repair today will be on the house, 100% covered by me if you get into any of my programs. So I want to help you guys out. Watch this video as many times as you need. If you want the help, we are here to help you 100% because time should be more valuable than money. I'll leave you guys with that. I'll be waiting on your phone call at 904-420-7772. My name is Mike from the Credit Game. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Take care.